Good morning. Today we'll be talking about our paper, and my topic for this paper will be how coaching has changed through COVID-19. Now, yes, COVID-19 has played a tremendous role in just about anything. Has changed pretty much all of history. It's changed the way the United States has interacted with people, how coaching in sports has changed drastically. Just from my perspective of student coaching, I have noticed that it's been a very different approach to coaching and how pretty much the entire world has been affected, both socially, economically, and all the above. But for this paper, we're going to focus in on how coaching has changed and how sometimes you can't be as hands-on and learning and socially engaged with your players, your athletes, or even your the staff members on the team. You can't be as socially interactive with them because of all the stipulations and guidelines that COVID-19 may have. So I have pulled up the Garrity reading that talks about failure to teach and how sometimes players assume that coaches may not know what's going on necessarily because of their lack of knowledge of the game or lack of skill of reaching to their understanding level of coaching and everything. But right here it says that the failure to teach is directly associated with what athletes talk about and describe as not learning from their coach. And I feel like this is really a big piece of the puzzle that's missing due to COVID. From my perspective of looking at everything as far as student coaching goes, I have really noticed that the coach that I'm working under, he's an old school style of coaching where he wants to be in your face and helping out, teaching hands-on, one-on-one with the athletes. But obviously with the social guidelines and everything that's taking place this season, he can't do that. And I've had some of the students come up to me and tell me that the coach doesn't know what he's talking about. He's unsure of things. He's not making sense in this area, but he's failing to teach me, and I don't understand it. There's a whole lackadaisical atmosphere going on with this style of coaching now. So my thing with that is having somebody you can trust to be around you and really help support you in your program, no matter what it is, and try to keep a positive atmosphere as far as everything goes, because it's a tough time. Everybody's having these struggles no matter what field it is. And I also have another one that's from I have another article pulled up here from Cushing and Denson about how humans learn. Yeah, I just touched on failure to teach, but I think it's also a failure to learn because of these social restrictions that we have. We can't be inclusive, we can't be in large groups, we can't do this, we can't do that. But according to Cushing and Denson, we learn by social engagements. We learn from being around each other, talking, asking questions, seeing how things are done socially, and just gain a knowledge from each other. And with this season, how everything's planned out, we've had to cancel games especially for my student coaching. We've had to cancel games, we've had to cancel practices, I think we've canceled more games than we've had actually playing the game. And I know for such a small school as Sacred Heart is, their ability to learn and their ability to interact with everybody and their coaches and players around them have really been hurt by this. Their performance hasn't been well. They're not learning. They haven't learned. Some people haven't learned the game at all. Some people who've never played started picking things up at the very last game instead of mid-season where we would have been. So having a lack of communication and lack of social well-being with the team environment has really hurt the school as a whole, especially their football program. Another article that I have pulled up that we've talked about so far in class is the communications article, and the main thing that I want to talk about on this one is the coach-athlete relationship. And like I've been saying, with COVID, there hasn't been, or what I've witnessed, hasn't been a very strong coach-athlete relationship. Now, that is not to say that it's the same setting everywhere. That's just what I have experienced from my actual student coaching and being involved with the game. But there are some out there who have great college or coach-athlete relationships, and that can, do coaching via Zoom or FaceTime or you name it. But that's because they've already had a good fundamental foundation of a coach-athlete relationship. Building coach-athlete relationships to me is the main, or not the main, but the biggest part of coaching. You need to be able to build those relationships so that the athletes can trust you as a coach, so that you can help guide them to their goal that they set. I have a couple other articles here that talk about how everything has changed. For instance, just recently, within, I believe, 4 days ago, Coach Tom Izzo, who's the head basketball coach over at Michigan State, tested positive for COVID. And he is quarantined for 10 days or whatever the stipulation is for it. But he said that the biggest thing for him is he did all the protocols, all the protocols that is set by the NCAA. He has set to a high standard and took pure precaution of it. And he has no idea where he got this virus from. But he also goes to say that technology is the biggest thing that's going to help him continue to coach and help him be with his athletes and his coaching staff while he is quarantined. And like I said before, that coach-athlete relationship is a huge part, because you have to have faith in your coach as an athlete, and as a coach, you have to have faith in your athletes. And so with this technology that Coach Tom Izzo will help build strengthen those bonds that he already has with his athletes, and will help guide his assistant coach through the next 6 to 7 days as he becomes the interim head coach. Those relationships are critical. And that's just to say that without technology, honestly, if there was no technology with COVID, I don't know how sports would go about, because there's numerous coaches that I've heard of or read up on using technology to coach games and or coach practices, especially when quote unquote Scotty Waldner had it. He coached via Zoom, but we all know another situation that might have led from there. But anyways, that's just my take on how COVID-19 has really changed the way we coach sports. And I hope y'all learned something from this, and I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. Thank you.